What's up, friends? This is Fouch and Friends. I'm so glad you're with me today. For several years now, from time to time, I would have comments on interviews or social media saying, you need to interview Brian Free. You need to interview Brian Free. When are you going to interview Brian Free? And I'm like, I'm trying, but we just don't see you guys very often.
No, we don't. We're out there doing what we do, but very seldom do our paths cross.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, I did them. I've done a lot of them. Majority of my interviews at National Quartet Convention, and you guys have been gone from there for a few years. And so it's just like, man, I don't know that I've even seen you in the last 5 years.
Maybe once.
I mean, just not often.
Yeah, I can't remember,
But
I can't remember the last time.
I can't either, but I'm so glad we get to see you guys now. Guys, obviously, you know, Brian Free from Brian Free and Assurance. The group's been going now for
27, let's see,
93,
almost
94.
20, 93 is when I started. Actually, we did our first recording the summer of 93. So if you technically, we didn't start touring until January 1 of 94.
Wow, so 26, 27 years.
Yeah.
All over the country, you know, but mainly outside of Bill with you, you've had very little, you know, Bill's been with you from the beginning.
Yep.
Very little turnover, which is always great. What's been the, when you lay down at night, put your head on your pillow, you think about 27 years. What's been the highlight of that with your ministry?
Wow. It'd be hard to name just one. We've been blessed to be able to do some really cool stuff. Now, Bill's been with me 20 years of that 27. So I have gone through some members. We started off trio, 26 and a half years ago. I went to quartet for a number of years. Mm-hmm. And then when I was studying to get my licensing and ordination as a minister, I went solo so I could have more time at home and not be the schedule. I could back off my schedule so I have more time for studies. So I did that for 2 years. And then I started the group back. And then we're trio. So the highlights, wow, there's been a number of them. We did the Today Show on NBC. That was a pretty cool thing. Of course, we've done the Opry. We've done. There's been some of those events like that have just really cool, stick out in your mind. Primetime Country. Some people remember that. Back on TNN when it used to be the National Network. Now I'm showing my age now. Some younger people are going, what?
Yeah.
What's that? What's a TNN?
They're like, we watch YouTube.
Did you say TVN? No, TNN. We're watching YouTube now. Anyway, back when they had TV shows.
Right.
On the actual TV.
Yeah.
But anyway, those are a few wonderful events. We've been to Northern Ireland. We've been to England. We've done some really cool stuff in the last 27 years.
One of the videos that I enjoyed the most from you guys is Brooklyn Tab.
Yes.
Long as I got King Jesus there, and I'm sure you remember that night.
That's a highlight. Yeah.
I was gonna say, what was that night like? For those of you watching, if you've seen that video, you could feel the energy from the video,
yes.
But I'm sure being there in person was phenomenal.
To make a long story short, on that particular date, that was at Christ Tab Church, which is the sister church to Brooklyn Tab, there in Queens, and we had the Brooklyn Tab Christ Tab Choir with us that night on stage with a sing list. Wayne Hahn was producing at the time, and he had already gotten with the choir. The choir, had the songs, a few songs they did with us. For God So Loved, Healed, As Long As I've Got King Jesus. Had those songs down. We were in Jersey the night before, I believe it was. Anyway, we go to New York. Anyone who knows anything about the city of New York City, they have the most low clearance bridges of any city in the U.S.
Okay.
So from where we were to get to Christ Tab in Queens, it took us, and we were only like 30 miles, it took us 6 hours because of the way you have to go to get around to this because of the low clearance bridges. Our bus is one of the, if not the tallest bus out there. The clearance is 13.6.
Wow.
So you've got to know that before you go someplace and get stuck.
Yeah.
So, and I'll try to condense this as much as I can. So we got there late. We were supposed to have been there like 10 o'clock in the morning. We got there at 3. And we still had not rehearsed with the choir. I mean, they had their stuff down, they're pros. And we figured hopefully we had our stuff down. We get there at 3 o'clock, man, and we're wore out mentally. We're frazzled because we're so late. and everybody's freaking out. Where are they? Where are they? And we're trying to get there. And then when you get there, trying to park a bus that's 51 foot long in Queens, trying to make a turn is a joke because cars park alongside the roads, and there's only room down there. Well, anyway, we get there, go in. The choir is amped up, ready to go. The excitement was there from the moment we walked in the building. The place was packed that night. The choir was anointed. The biggest problem I had was not turning around and watching them sing.
Yeah.
I wanted to stop singing and turn around and listen and watch them. Mm-hmm. So that was the biggest focus, just knowing that was behind you. And with all the excitement and the church we were having and the praising the Lord we were having, it was, some people say it was magic in the air. It wasn't magic, it was the Holy Spirit. Yeah. And it was church. Yeah. It was church.
Would you say that's probably top?
Oh, that's top 5.
Recording for you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's one of the top recordings we've ever had. I mean, as long as it's got King Jesus, we still do that song every night, pretty much. I have to. And that was in, 06?
Yeah, it would have been early, mid-2000s.
Yeah, it was 06, I believe, when we did that. That's 14 years ago, almost 15. And we're still having to do it and if we don't do that song, we didn't do it today because we ran out of time, but if we don't normally do that song, I hear it.
Somebody's going to say it today.
Oh, I guarantee I'll hear it today. Why did you do King Jesus? We ran out of time.
We're in Branson, Missouri for the Praise Fest Branson event, and these folks, they all know and love gospel music, so I guarantee there's going to be somebody out there today at the end of the session.
Usually somebody will yell out when we're done. When I'm saying I enjoy they are going, King Jesus! Jerry Goff, you say, no time.
We're done.
Yeah.
You look down at that little monitor and it's like all
red.
I
went a minute over.
Yeah, all red with the negative.
Yep. It's like, it's a good thing there wasn't one of those red lights.
That's right.
They didn't charge me either.
Yeah. Oh, imagine that.
I didn't have to write a check.
Well, that's nice. So a lot of folks know you, obviously, from your early days. Gold City days, of course.
There's still a few alive that didn't remember that.
Everything's been great with Assurance.
Yeah.
But, a lot of these folks, they remember the Gold City days. Just reminisce a little bit with the folks about your time there and some of the great songs that you guys had during that time.
Wow. I come out of high school, graduated high school. I had no idea what I was going to do. I had a friend that worked at the Marietta, Georgia plant of Coca-Cola. And he said, well, until you decide what you're going to do, just come down here, I'll get you a job. I go down there and I'm driving a forklift, loading trucks and unloading trucks. Okay? I did that for probably 4 months, 3 or 4 months. I come home from work one day, I had a phone call from Floyd Beck, who was the owner and founder and starter of Gold City. The reason, a little history, but his dad sang with the original Gold City Quartet back in the late 1800s. They're based out of Dahlonega, Georgia. Wow. So which is where they got their name, Gold City. If anybody knows anything about the Dahlonega, Georgia, is where the gold mine, gold rush started. Actually started there before it started in California. And so he wanted to put a group together. He did that. I had a phone call from him when I got home. I was still living at home, of course, and Dad said, you got a phone call from some guy wants to know if you want to sing. And he had heard me, Floyd had heard me with a local group there in Atlanta. I sang with a couple local groups there in Atlanta. And he called me up, asked me if I want to come up here and audition. I go to Dahlonega, to Floyd's house, audition. At that time, it was me, Tim, a man named Ken Trussell singing baritone, and Jerry Ritchie singing lead. And he offered me the job. And it wasn't making much, but it was making what I was making driving a forklift.
Okay,
Very within a few dollars of it. And it's $129 a week. I'll never forget that. A lot of people don't say that. I did. I made $129 a week. So anyway,
nice.
I was walking in high cotton. Took the job. Rest was history. Just traveled for, I was there for a little over 13 years. We were blessed down through those years to have some great songs. Yeah. Our first album that we did live in Atlanta was actually in Marietta. It was labeled Live in Atlanta. Had In My Robe of White, No Other Word for Grace But Amazing, Ain't God Good. All three of them, we had 5 #1 songs out of the 10 off that first album. Wow. And that was 3 of them. I'm trying to think of the other 2. And then after that, that's what kind of launched us, put us on. J.G. Whitfield we used to warm up for our warm-up groups with Whitfield. And so but he put us on all his tickets. And so we did that, and then things kind of grew. The next album was I Think I Read It Again, which I Think I Read It Again was number one. How Deep It Was number one. We had like the first 5 or 6 albums we did. Not one of them had any less than 3 number one songs on those. And it wasn't us, it's just the songs. They were great songs. Great songs. And then down through the years, Midnight Cry, Only God Knows, There'll Come a Day. I mean, all the songs that just, I mean, we were just blessed to, thank God, to have some writers that were truly anointed, and we were blessed to be able to sing those songs.
That's
So
awesome.
it was a wonderful time. I can, it was good, bad, and I'm not going to sit there and lie to you and say it was all good. No, it wasn't all good. But because I've had people ask me, why did you leave? Because I truly left because I really feel like God was through with me there. It was an unrest, nothing against anyone, nothing in particular. It wasn't like we were fighting and shooting at each other. It was, and that happens sometimes in gospel music.
Yeah.
That was not the case. It was just, I felt like it was time to move on.
Yeah.
And it was. And God's blessed BFA. And next April will be 40 years since I started full-time out here.
Wow. You see it stopping, or you gonna keep going until you can't sing another lick?
If we can ever get rid of all this junk going on, I plan on keep on going, yeah. I'm gonna go until God tells me different.
Yeah.
And he'll have to be, I'm pretty ignorant, so he'll have to be pretty clear with me. It'll have
Pretty
to be-
strong-headed?
Yeah, it'll almost have to be an audible voice.
Okay. Very good.
Because I love what I do. I still
Yeah.
love what I do. I still enjoy getting on the bus.
Yeah.
I still enjoy standing on stage and singing. There's no feeling like it to be able to sing the best music on earth to the best people on earth and see the songs change people's lives as well as changing ours.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that to me, I love that.
You just mentioned the best people, and I know, I'm sure you guys, just like so many of the other groups, and I know Legacy 5 and even me personally, have been getting emails and letters and messages and all that from these kind folks. And so to close this thing out, all the interviews I've been doing during the last 5 or 6 months, I've just been asking the artists, speak from your heart, straight to the people watching, and just say thank you for their love for us and their support even during this time where we can't see them face to face most of the time.
That's easy to do. I mean, for myself, I can tell you, for myself and my family, for almost 40 years, you fed, clothed, and taking care of myself and my family. Without getting too emotional, you didn't have to, but you did. You allowed me to be able, and many others, to stand on that stage and have church over and over and over again. Whatever's going on right now, this will pass. This will pass. And we're going to continue to do what we do until the Lord comes. The devil's not going to stop any of these Christian artists from doing what we do. He's not going to shut the church down. Governments may try, governors may try, city officials may try, but they're not going to shut the church down. You cannot stop this. There'll be no stopping it. So I thank you for all those years. Sorry about getting a little emotional, but when I think of what the sacrifice you make for us, it means something. I haven't forgotten. I'll never forget that you allow us to do this. You've allowed me to do this for nearly 40 years now. If you'd asked me 40 years ago if I'd still be doing it, I probably would have said no. I could have seen that even be impossible. But because of people like you, because everyone out there, we're able to do this. And what else, what other ministry or job or whatever you want to call it, could you have that kind of job security? And these people, you, sitting out there in the seats, buying tickets, buying our product, praying for us, bringing us food, taking care of us. You're the only reason why we're out here. You're the only thing that keep you and the Lord are the only thing that keeps us out here. Right. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you've done for BFA, for my entire career out here, and it's going to continue as long as the Lord will let me.
It's awesome. I love it when you guys get to see the raw side of us as individuals, and I love being able to just give artists the opportunity, because folks are watching because they want to stay connected with the artist,
Yeah.
since they can't, a lot of them can't or are deciding not to come to concerts.
Right.
And so I love being able to give artists the opportunity to speak straight to the folks watching and just say thank you, because I've asked the folks watching to send letters and emails and messages to their artists saying, hey, we love you, we support you.
And we get them, and I
we
love
appreciate
it.
you.
It makes our day, it makes our week. I mean, social media is one way to keep up with people, but it's not the same as, you know, I'm ready for the hugging days and the and the talking days, and without any restriction. I'm looking forward to that, but that'll come.
That's awesome. Hey guys, I hope you've enjoyed your time here at Fouch and Friends with Brian Free. You can check him out. You can go online, just type in Brian Free and Assurance. It'll pop up. You can go on all the socials. I know they're out there. He posts some great stuff. So go check him out online. You guys will not regret following what they got going on. So thanks so much for being here. Brian, thank you for your time, man.
Thank you very much.